everyone. Come on in because this is going to be my review of Married at First Sight, Season 16, Episode 13. And I do recap reviews on all the individual couples, plus I do the after party. So be sure to watch them all. And my name is Deborah. So let's get started with Kirsten and Shaq. And boy, since this was the episode where we're going to write the letters to our younger selves and we're going to go back into our family history and turn the time back, I was really interested in seeing where Kirsten was going to take us, what Kirsten was going to do to show us a little bit more, a glimpse into herself. And boy, did I learn a lot. Or I should say I didn't learn a lot. I sure did confirm a lot. First of all, Kirsten is on the wrong show. Kirsten is on the wrong show. If Kirsten, the things that Kirsten wants, a fine man, athletic man, built man with 6 inches, who can buy her a whole house without using any of her money, none of her credit score, and just put her on the deed. None of these things are wrong. That's fine. You know what? People can have all of the dreams that they want in life. I am not a person who stomps on a dream, but I am a person that says, are you shopping at the wrong store? You do not go into Walmart looking for some Tom Ford shoes. You don't. And Kirsten is over here shopping on Married at First Sight for a rich man. For a rich man. That's the problem that I have. That is the problem that I have. And let me tell you something about Kirsten. I know we've all been calling her shallow, or some of us have. Not everyone has. Let me say I've called her shallow. Let me speak for myself. I've called Kirsten shallow, and I still believe that. But Kirsten also has this part of her that's like a low-key gaslighter. She's kind of like a low-key gaslighter. And I'm really seeing the real techniques that Kirsten has probably been using out here in dating and why she's still single. I really do know why she's still single. One of the things that Kirsten likes to do is she likes to drive up her price. And what I mean by that is she's the person who likes to create a lot of hype about herself so that it gets you to want to pay a real high price for her. I'm telling you, it goes back to what the pickiness is about. The pickiness is about letting you know that I can't just accept any old thing. I am a person of high caliber, high standards, and therefore you just can't bring me any old thing. So as you bring me things or offer me things, whether it be a man, a meal, anything, I scrutinize and I say, oh, that's not good enough for me. I need something more. Because what I'm telling you is I'm above that. I'm above you. I'm above whatever you're trying to give me. I'm above your standards. My standards are higher than yours. But the problem with all this high standards that Kirsten have is it's all a sham. It's all a sham. She really isn't used to and accustomed to all this. Because let me tell you, this whole debacle over you're going to have to buy me a house, this is all a scam. I got so much to talk about with Kirsten this week. This might be an hour video. This whole thing about you need to buy me a house. I know last week I touched on it, and a few of you got a little bit upset with me in the comments saying what's wrong with a man buying a woman a house? Or what's going on with women these days where we are looking down on a woman who has standards for a man to buy them a house? Okay, good question. Very, very good question. That's why I like to read all my comments, because I really do love to engage with you guys. So because I got that question from several people, that tells me I might not have clarified myself well enough in my video. Because I want you to know I am definitely not a type of person where I don't believe a man, if he's able to and can do that, should buy a woman a house. Let me tell you, me by nature, I'm actually a giver. I don't know if y'all know that, but I'm a giver by nature. So when you're talking about giving someone a gift, you're not going to get no complaints from me because I love to give gifts. But let me tell you as a giver what our triggers are as a giver. All my givers out here, you're going to be able to relate to this. As a giver, there's two main things that really rub us wrong, because we love to give. We really do. But when you act like we owe you something and you demand something, that triggers us. It triggers us. Let me tell you, When you act like we owe you something, it triggers us. When what we give you is not good enough and you look down on it, it triggers us. When you feel entitled to what we're giving, we think it's a gift, but you feel entitled to us, it triggers us. And when you're ungrateful, it triggers us. So let me tell you something, how Kirsten is triggering me out here with this house. Like I said, if Shaq got the money to buy her a house, I'd be like, get it, girl. But what I don't like about Kirsten is what she uses entitlement, she demands, and she's picky. So first of all, she takes them to this $2.9 million house. First of all, this is part of the trickery. She's trying to pretend like she's a realtor and she sells $2.9 million houses. No, she doesn't. That wasn't her listing. I'm not going to look her up on the MLS. I'm not going to go so far because I'm not petty like that. But I know some of you are petty. Go on and look her up in the MLS. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't need to look her up. I can tell you right now that she doesn't sell $2.9 million houses. So the fact that she took them to one, first of all, is trickery. She should have took them to a house in which she sells. The price range in which she sells. I already told you, I know that Kirsten doesn't sell many houses. I don't even look her up to know this. She doesn't sell many houses. You know, people have been watching my channel. You know that I do real estate. I'm not a real estate agent. I've done real estate investing. I do real estate. And I'm going to tell you right now, Kirsten does not show high-end homes because I've worked with people who do, and I could tell by the way she moves and shakes, she doesn't sell high-end homes. So this was a trickery to take Shaq to a $2.9 million house to try to show out, look what I do, look what I do. And this isn't even what you want to do. This is to set the bar high for Shaq. Then she brings up this whole thing talking about, well, I have friends whose husbands buy them cars and who buy them houses. Where? Where are they? We haven't seen them on this show. We haven't even seen your family on this show. Another trickery. It is this idea of, let me create this image of myself. I'll never really prove any of it to you. And what that will make you do is it'll make you want to keep reaching this bar I've set for you, but it's a fake bar. It's a fake bar. She hasn't had any of these things. She's driving around in this Mercedes. She's talking about, well, I got a Mercedes. You can upgrade me to a Lamborghini or Ferrari. How can you have a Mercedes and you don't even have a nightstand? You got a Mercedes, but you don't have a nightstand? For show. It's all for show. Maybe it's for her clients. Maybe it's for her friends. Because guess what? Her clients and her friends probably don't even come to her house and see you driving around in a Mercedes, but you don't even have a nightstand. It's shallow, it's fake, and it's all to make you work harder. It's an image of an outside so that you work harder. Let me tell you something. I told y'all I'm in real estate. I remember having this tenant, and she lived in one of my apartments. And, you know, every time I saw her, I mean, she was dressed to the nines. I mean, I would see her designer drip, everything. And I'd be thinking, this girl's late on her rent. She a month behind on her rent, but when she walked out the house, she looked like $1 million. $1 million. But she can't even pay her rent. Then I remember one day I was at the apartment building and I was walking through like the parking lot or whatever, and I saw her car. I looked in her car. Her car was a complete mess. Chaotic. Trash in it. Bags left over from McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken. You know, when you eat fast food in your car, but then you don't take the trash out, all in her car, clothes all in her car, papers, books all in her car. Horrendous. There are a lot of people out here who love to put on an image, and behind closed doors, their life is a mess. And I'm telling you, that's what Kirsten is. Another area Kirsten likes to put on is, you're really starting to see it, is with this daddy of hers. I don't want to talk about him because he could be a very wonderful man, but I'm going to tell you, one of Kirsten's things to raise her value is to classify herself as a daddy's girl. So what you do when you want to go around saying, I'm a daddy's girl, I'm a daddy's girl, what Kirsten is trying to do is, I'm used to a man catering to me and spoiling me, because that's what a lot of people think a daddy's girl is, but it's really not the truth. Real daddy girls are, no, that's not all it is. But anyway, I'm used to a man catering me and spoiling me. Just like she said, she's used to friends whose husbands do it for her. So I'm going to need you to do the same thing for Shaq. I'm going to need you to spoil me. First of all, that daddy didn't even come to the wedding. So I'm already knew right then she's not a daddy's girl. No man who has a daddy's girl is going to miss his daughter's wedding. There's no way. Even if you don't agree with the man that she's marrying, even if you don't agree with why and how she's marrying him, a daddy's girl, a daddy who has a daddy's girl, the reason she's a daddy's girl is because her father loves her more than anything and will do anything for her. And if that means going to a wedding, even if I don't agree, you're marrying a man I haven't even met, I'm still going to do it. As a daddy, I'm still going to do it. And that's why I knew right then you're not a daddy's girl. I don't know what her definition is of a daddy's girl, and I don't believe she is. And she's using that to make Shaq be a different person, or not to be a different person, but step up his game. It's a way of saying, this is my bar, and this is what I need you to reach. She takes us over here to this house she grew up in. First of all, it's a very modest house in Tennessee. Okay, I don't want to... See, this is what I'm saying. I don't like to put people down, but I really only have to do it when they start trying to act like they all that. See, that's when that also gets me. It's part of that, like I told you, as a giver, it's part of that saying what you do isn't good enough. Then I go, wait a minute, what I do isn't good enough. Well, what you got? Your stuff ain't all that either. So now I look at Kirsten. She takes us to this little 2-bedroom house in Tennessee. Tennessee, people, a 2-bedroom house in Tennessee. Then she tells us, see, this is what my father was used to doing, providing for us. Like I said, I don't want anyone telling me I'm putting down the father, because I am not. He seems like he has been a wonderful father. He has done very nice things with his children. But what I am going to challenge with Kirsten is this notion that her father provided this real high standard of living for her, and now Shaq has to live up to it. That's what I'm saying. 2-bedroom house in Tennessee. Then we find out her parents split when she was what? 8? Did she tell us 8? 5 or 8? So what do you mean your father bought you guys a house? They divorced at 5 or 8 and you moved out the house. That's not even the majority of your life if you were 5 years old or 8 years old. You barely talking you barely talking and everything at 3. So what, you had at most, what, 1 or 4 years in a house? And all of a sudden you act like you was living in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Girl, you are not the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You are not the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But this is the image she wants to keep portrayed. And then when you call her on it, she likes to try to so-called gaslight you and act like what you know is not the truth. Y'all better watch my after party video, because she's on there gaslighting the hell out of Shaq. Gaslighting the hell out of Shaq, and he ain't even present. But I'm going to save that for over on the after party, so be sure you watch that. Personally, I tell you, if you are such a daddy's girl, you need to go ask your daddy to buy you a nightstand. Let's start there. You need to go and ask your daddy to buy you a nightstand. Tell him to order it on Amazon and send it. And then she's sitting over here talking about, well, I'm not ready to introduce my Shaq to my father because he's having a hard time accepting this. I thought he had COVID. I thought the reason he didn't come to the wedding was because he didn't want to get COVID tested. I'm sorry, that's what he said, COVID tested. Now you're talking about you the one that don't want to introduce your daddy. All this is just a fake and a facade. It's also, everybody thinks that she's a daddy's girl. She's the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. She's got a master's and a bachelor's, and she sells $2.9 million houses. It's all a fake and a fraud, and she hangs around rich people whose husbands go around buying their wives cars and houses. Show them to me. Show them to me. Show me the percentage of men who have the ability to buy their wives a $2.9 million homes and not rely upon the woman for anything. Not her credit score, not no part of the down payment, no money towards the mortgage, or nothing. Show them to me, Kirsten. I don't believe you. I don't believe you a one bit. And they can't be no clients of yours. When she running here around talking about, I know people, or maybe who she knows are clients, people who she sold homes to. Those aren't your friends. Those aren't your friends. That reminds me of, have you ever been to a really high-end store in LA? You ever go to one of these, sometimes these stores in Beverly Hills? I don't shop there because I ain't got no Beverly Hills money. But I've been to them. And sometimes you go on these stores in Beverly Hills and the salespeople, they really snobby. They're really snobby. They act like they can afford the merchandise in the store. You go into, Yves Saint Laurent store, or you go into, Louis Vuitton store or whatever else. They want to look down on you. You over here buying a $2,000 and $3,000 bag, and they want to look down on you. And they over here living in an apartment with 5 people. That's Kirsten. She over here probably selling. I'm telling you all right now, I know the price range of houses Kirsten probably sells. I don't know the whole Tennessee market, but I bet you the average price of the home she sells is probably somewhere around $450,000, $500,000. That's it. She ain't selling 2.9, but she's running around here talking about people who are in that marketplace, and she wants to be in that marketplace. She even said it. She said, I want you to buy me a house so I can tell people you bought me a house. It came out her mouth that I want you to buy me a house so I could tell people my husband bought me a house. Girl, I'm so over Kirsten. And you know what? Shaq is over Kirsten too. I was holding out a little hope for them, but it's going to be a no on decision day. And you know who the no is going to come from? The no is going to come from Shaq. The no is going to come from Shaq because Kirsten actually really believes she's worth all this. This holding out for a kiss. She trying to raise the price on her kiss. This holding out on sex, all this stuff she likes to hold out on as if she's so worth so much. Girl, she overvalues herself. She really does overvalue herself. She's going to be on the market for a while. Because let me tell you, there's a lot of men who will be attracted to Kirsten. There's a lot of men, but after they spend a little bit of time with her, they're going to see beyond the pretty face. They're going to see beyond, and that's why she can't get far in dating. She can't get far in dating. Like that guy who probably was with her for 4 years, and then what she say, he ended up cheating on her. That's pretty much how it's going to go until she decides to change some things about herself. I think I did a video. I do so many videos. I don't know where I said it, if it was Married at First Sight videos or if it was Ready to Love videos. But I told you about people who are not learning and growing from relationship to relationship. What's going to happen is you're going to get stuck. And Kirsten is in real danger. She is in real danger of being a person that comes on Married at First Sight and doesn't learn a thing. Doesn't learn a thing. And then what she's going to do, she's going to go on to the next relationship and she's going to do the same old playbook, and she's going to keep finding herself in the same old place, because she really isn't learning her lessons. Her game plan is to stay the same and find a different man. Find a man who wants to purchase what I'm selling. That's her whole game plan. But you know what? If you want to stick with that game plan, that's Kirsten, but time isn't going to be on your side. I'm telling you, pay attention to women like, who was the girl from last year with Nate and Stasha? Pay attention to the Stashas of the world, because there comes a point in time when you're going to start to run out of runway with this type of game where you have these high standards and you want to pretend like you deserve all this stuff and no one's good enough for you. Okay. Kirsten is only like 32, 33. Stasha was 37. When she finally gets to 37, now she's got a clock and she's telling men, you need to be able to get married and have a baby all within 1 year. These women better freeze their eggs. They better freeze their eggs. If they're going to stick with this game plan, Kirsten better run out and freeze her eggs right away. She better freeze them right away, because she might be out here and she may not find her man till she's darn near 39 years old, which is okay. But you don't want 39-year-old eggs. She better freeze her eggs now if she's going to continue with this game plan. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Either change your game plan or freeze your eggs, because you're going to be out here a while. You're going to be out here for a while. She's up here painting a picture, talking about, can't you see the kids running through the house? Boy, she was doing a sales job on Shaq. This is just like a real estate agent when they come to have you look at a house. Because what they want to do is they want you to imagine yourself in the home. Can't you imagine you and your husband laying here in this jacuzzi tub? Can't you imagine sitting out here on the balcony, sipping your morning coffee? Kirsten's like, can't you imagine all our little kids running around the house? We could be in the theater room watching movies with popcorn, and he was eating it up. Ooh, yeah, I could really see it, Kirsten. Well, that's great. It's only going to cost you $2.9 million. The dream only cost you $2.9 million. And let me tell you, I'm not putting no money down. I'm not going to be putting my credit score up with it. But yes, I will be on the deed. I will be on the deed. Woo! She was trying to do a sales job on him. She was trying to do a sales job on him. But he was like, wait a minute. What's she talking about? Buy you a house. Or buy you a house. He was like, we need to talk about this. What do you mean? You're not going to contribute nothing to it? She goes, oh, no, this is what I've been accustomed to. This is what I'm accustomed to. What you mean you're accustomed to it? Yeah, my daddy did it for me. All my friends, their husbands do it for them. Shaq ain't met a friend. Shaq ain't met a daddy. Shaq ain't met no one in the family. And this girl is all talking about stuff up here. Her daddy doesn't even want to meet Shaq. She talking about she's keeping Shaq away from her daddy. Her daddy don't want to meet Shaq. And she don't want Shaq to meet her daddy, because then guess what? Shaq will really see, oh, wait a minute. What's she talking about? She says her daddy's always at the shop. I don't know what the shop is. I hope he ain't a barber. I hope he ain't a barber like the salon Gina. Maybe he's a mechanic. I don't know what he does, but she always says he's always at the shop. I don't know what kind of shop that is. Is it he's a mechanic? Maybe he has like a mechanic shop. Maybe it's the barber shop. We have no idea, but she doesn't tell us. All we know is that he's running around buying houses for everybody, but he don't live there either. I don't believe Kirsten. It's all a fake and a facade, all of it. Shaq was like, we could go ahead and look for, we should look for a house, eventually later on, I do want to buy a house. She's like, yeah, well, when your lease is up, he's like, that's in 3 months. She goes, yeah, 3 months, 3 months. She ain't gonna meet her quota. That's what she's trying to do, Shaq. What she's trying to tell you is whatever brokerage company she's with, she hasn't sold enough homes. And if she don't sell a home soon, they're gonna fire her. Because people don't keep brokers around that ain't selling homes. I'm telling you, Kirsten probably only sells, I'm going to put my guess out there. I want to say no more than 3 houses a year. No more than 3 houses a year. That's what Kirsten is. Kirsten just said she don't have a website and a business card and a logo. And I was like, what you need all that for? You don't work for no brokerage company? I'm telling you, her little illusion, anyone with any bit of, I'm older than most people, so I have a little bit more experience out here. Experienced people see right through this, because none of her stories add up. None of them add up. But I stick to the fact that none of the stuff where Kirsten doesn't want to be with Shaq had nothing to do with his bald head. It never had anything to do with that. What Kirsten does is she likes to drive up her price. So just like she came in and said, I really don't like Shaq, I don't like the way he looks. That's the same way you're supposed to go looking for a house. When you go looking for a house, and she knows this as a real estate agent because she's a salesperson, when you take a client to go look at a house, the thing you tell them is, no matter how much you like the house, don't show your over enthusiasm. Don't show how much you like the house, because that's going to hurt us on negotiations. So walk through the house, stone face. Don't be afraid to point out some things you don't like, because what that will do is that'll start to prime the seller to discount their price. It's a sales tactic, and she's a salesperson. So it never had anything to do with his bald head. That was a game so he would work harder for her, and he will work harder to pay more for her, and he would lower his own price of his own worth, that she could pick him up for cheap, and then he would have to pay more for her. It's a sales tactic. It had nothing to do with she really doesn't like the way that he looks. Because remember, when she was sitting down with Dr. Pepper, before she even met the man, she already told Dr. Pepper that I'm already going to want a discount if his penis isn't big enough. She hadn't even met him. She said, I want a man with so many inches. So what she was saying is, before I even see the product that I'm about to get paired with or that I'm going to purchase, I'm going to tell you right now that I'm going to offer less for it if the penis isn't big. She was already foreshadowing that she was going to be hard to please, and that she was going to ask for a discount right from the gate. This is who she is. She likes you to run down the price of yourself, run down your own worth, elevate her worth, and make you believe she's worth all this. Girl, that's why she ain't selling no doggone houses, because I'm telling you, she's misleading. And people can see through this whole little game she's playing. Kirsten, I'm going to talk directly to you. If you're not selling but 2 or 3 homes a year, I'm going to tell you the reason why you're not selling them is because experienced buyers like myself can see through you. They can see through you. So then what we'll do is when we see this charade you're doing, this oversells thing you're doing, we don't trust you. We don't trust you to represent us. We don't trust you to buy from you because we look at you and we say, she's trying to pull the wool over my head. And although I may discover some things of what she's lying about, what about the things I'm not sharp enough to discover? And so therefore we won't want to do business with you. So not only do you need to change your tactics, Kirsten, for personal life in meeting men and dating, you need to change your tactics in selling. Unless you're selling to a bunch of first-time homeowners, which is probably who she's selling to, okay? Which means that's what I'm telling you. She's probably selling to first-time homeowners. Therefore, she's in a lower price of homes. And so first-time homeowners aren't as savvy. So they don't know how to see through these little sales techniques and tactics that she's using. So she gets over on it. But if she ever really does want to move up into $2.9 million homes, she's going to have to come up with a new method. Because people buying $2.9 million homes can see through all this bull crap you doing. We see right through it. And then we don't want to do no business with you because we know you're being dishonest. Sorry. There's some free advice for you, Kirsten. There's some free advice. But here's Shaq introducing her to, you know, people who are in town, his godmother, his godparents. Shaq done introduced her to mentees. He's taking her to business conferences. Now he's introducing godparents and godmothers to Kirsten. And Kirsten can't even get her daddy, who's the one who set at the bar and set the standards, to even have a cup of coffee with Shaq. Shaq can't go down to the shop, whatever shop it is. He can't go get a haircut from your daddy. He can't go get his car fixed, whatever shop it is. He can't go down there. Girl, in Tennessee. He probably right down the road. Unbelievable, people. Unbelievable. And so then when Shaq starts calling around on him, talking about, you always talking about you want to talk, but here we are talking, and now you're trying to walk away. And she's like, I ain't going to be acting crazy with you. I ain't going to be acting crazy with you. You trying to act crazy. No. No, just like Shaq said, well, wait a minute. How all of a sudden now is this all a big joke to you? When I was joking, you told me I joked too much. Shaq, it's all gaslighting. That's what gaslighting is. What's good for them is not good for you. They use excuses not to have conversations. So now all of a sudden she doesn't want to be called on her bull crap. And she says, oh, it was all a joke. It wasn't a joke. And none of it was a joke. None of it was a joke. It was all the truth. But now she sees how it went over and she wants to convert it to a joke. Well, it was a bad joke. Whether it was a joke from the beginning or whether it's a joke now, it was a horrible joke. It's a bad joke. And I don't even believe it's a joke. So now I like you even less because I didn't like you when you said it. And now I don't like the fact that you're lying and saying it was a joke. Now we got two problems. Two problems. I had a problem when you said it. Now I have another problem because you're trying to act like it's a joke. And now you're trying to gaslight me and tell me I'm overreacting. Girl, buy with a capital B. Buy with a capital B. And she's like, it was just a joke, you know, where we can buy a house together, whatever we get approved for. Well, I mean, that's the same as him buying the house because she don't have no, I'm telling you people, Kirsten is broke. The real estate market is trash. I ain't even doing it right now anymore. It is a trash. Interest rates is high as hell out here. First-time home buyers, which is who she sells to, are the ones having the hardest problems buying homes because high interest rates really affect them. It increases their home prices. She is suffering out here with her little business. She better go back and do that job that depends on that bachelor's and that master's. She better go back to what she got that degree in. Because when she says we'll buy whatever house we can qualify together, Shaq, it's going to be what you qualify for. She ain't got enough stable income. The bank going to look at her income and say, your income is inconsistent. You getting paid only 4 times a year. Well, we can't count on that for no doggone mortgage. A bank don't want to see that 4 times a year. They're going to be primarily looking at his income because his income is going to be the steady income. So like she said, oh, you can buy us a house because my income ain't going to be worth nothing anyway. Then she's like, well, calm down. You overreacted. Now she's trying to paint a picture that he's over emotional. He's over emotional, overreacting. Right? So now what you doing now to him? You putting him down? You about to go on this little tip of he's too feminine. He's overreacting. That's what I heard coming out of that little condescending tone. Oh, you're overreacting. So I'm overreacting to what you did. And now I'm the problem. Woo woo, woo. This girl's a professional. She's been doing this a long time. And I'm telling you, she's been doing it so long, it's going to be hard for her to get rid of these habits because she doesn't even know when she does it. So she doesn't even know how to break the habits. One is she doesn't even acknowledge that she does it because she's on the after party denying it, which means she's nowhere near about to stop it. She's nowhere near about to correct the behavior because she doesn't even want to acknowledge it happens, which means she's a long way away from correcting it and doing something different. Like I said, freeze your eggs, freeze your eggs. That's it, people. Be sure to watch my other videos. Talk to you later. Bye.